Whenever we want to make a big change in our life, or we want to build or create something new, or we want to form a new good habit, the most difficult thing that we find that we do not have enough time to work on that. We have so many things to do, but we feel like we do not have enough time to do all of those. If we are in a 9 to 5 job and we commute a long distance for our work, then most of our days are spent there, and we are left with very minimal hours at the end of the day to work on our personal projects and plan. And on top of that, there are those social media accounts where even after spending so much time, we wish we could scroll for some more time. So at the end of the day, we give up and we blame that we do not have enough time to work on our personal projects and plan. But what if I tell you that we all have the time that we need to work on our personal projects and plan, even if we think that we do not have? Let's have a talk. Everyone in this world has got exactly 24 hours in a day. However, how that 24 hours is to be spent is entirely on the individual. It's not the time to blame for. There is something else which is at play, and that holds us back from working on those items, and that thing is called resistance. Our brain is very lazy and it does not like a change. It will always find out ways to work as less as possible to accomplish a task, and it makes sense if you think from optimized uses of resources. However, because of that, our brain kind of influences us to stay wherever we are and not to make any change, and it creates enough resistance so that we don't take any step to make that change to happen, which is the problem. As I just mentioned, we all have got 24 hours in a day, so we do have the time to work on our personal projects and plan. We just have to find out ways to utilize our time in much better way and avoid the resistance I just mentioned to work on our personal projects and plan to change ourselves. And if you want to make that happen, then you really need to start looking at time little differently. And here is a question for you. Take a pause and see if you have an answer for this. Even if you don't, that's absolutely fine. How much do you value your own time? If you have an answer for this, then that's really great. But if not, then you can look at it from two different perspectives: monetary value and non-monetary value. So what is your hourly rate? You can calculate that easily. And once you calculate that, then see if you are spending 1 hour to save or avoid any expense which is less than your hourly rate, then you are wasting your time. Similarly, if you are doing some work which can be delegated to someone with a rate lower than your hourly rate, then you must delegate that work. These are the two key concepts that you really need to be aware of in order to understand the monetary value of your time. And I learned these two concepts from the podcast and the book The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. That's a great book. I'll put a link of that book in the description. You can also read. Time is a non-renewable resource and the clock is always ticking. The number of years that we live is made of days, and we have that 24 hours in a day. So you really need to be careful about with whom and where you are spending your precious life. Notice I just said life, not hours or time. Once we start looking at time from these two perspectives, we'll definitely find things that we can stop, we can avoid, or we can delegate, and replace those time windows with the work that we really want to do to make a change in our life. Additionally, there are few areas where we can better utilize our time. For example, if you are commuting a long distance for your work, then instead of listening to radio or music, you can listen to a podcast, or you can listen to audio books or something related to the learning. Also, in few cases, if you properly plan, then you can better utilize your time. And one example could be, let's say if you take your kids for any classes like swimming or anything similar, and you prefer to stay there till the class is over, then instead of randomly scrolling the social media accounts or going through random YouTube videos, you can carry a book and you can read the book there, or you can listen to a podcast or audio books or anything related to the learning, which otherwise you usually don't do because you think that you do not have time to do that. And you can also minimize your screen time, and this is an area where it not only helps to save time, but it does a lot more than that. And this itself can be a dedicated video to talk about. Take control of your time rather than being controlled by something else. Once you do that, you will have enough time to do everything that you really want to do. We all need to prioritize the things that we really need to do, and as I already said, it's not the time, it's mainly the resistance which creates all the problem. So we need to be smart enough to trick our brain to avoid that resistance and push ourselves hard to build a habit to work on that prioritized items on a regular and consistent basis. We must not blame that we do not have enough time to work on those. We really have all the time that we need to work on those, even if we feel we don't have. You just need to figure out how you can utilize your time to work on those prioritized items for your change. I hope you found this video useful and you will be able to figure out ways to utilize your time to work on the prioritized items and make a change in your life. But we all need to build some systems and processes to accelerate our change journey and long-term uses. You can watch this video where I have covered this in detail. Thank you for watching.